So we've got what's the Gurmat way to get married. If you're an Amritdhari in your family have found someone who seems to be a good, compatible kind of fit, but they're not Amritdhari, what should you do? When doing Anand, I'll leave that one for a second. And why should we get married? So basically, what is the Gurmat way to get married, or why should we get married? So if we go into first the Gurmat way to get married, the Gurmat way to get married is you shouldn't directly go out, have a boyfriend, girlfriend, have a bit of a relationship, see if you like it, and then get married, because that is indulging in kaam. It's not Sikhi, is it? Because Sadhguru Sahib just taught us that we should respect the people that are barabar to us as our brothers and sisters, elders as mothers and fathers, youngers as daughters and sons. So obviously you wouldn't do that with your sister, so you don't do it with anyone else. So the Gurmat way to get married generally is you have someone who might see or know you, they'll have a look, they'll see, and then they'll obviously do the initiation in terms of they'll see if they are a fit. Now these days we tend to be looking at what's the job, how much money do they earn, but what should we actually be looking? Because one of the questions was, what if they're not Amritdhari? So if you're Amritdhari, you should only marry another Amritdhari. Sadhguru Sahib in Rayatname tell us that Kanya Deve Sikh ko leve neh ki sudam sui mera Sikh hai paunche gur ke tam, that a Gur Sikh should only give their daughter to someone who is an Amritdhari, who is a Sikh. So if you're Amritdhari, you should marry Amritdhari, because at the end of the day, if you're Amritdhari, their whole lifestyle will probably be quite a lot different, or could be very different. So then it's going to obviously cause problems within the relationship. So the Gurmat way to get married is not to indulge in obviously calm kind of things and doing your own thing. Now some people might say, well, it doesn't matter if you know them, or that's what, but the actual, if you want down the straight line what the Gurmat is, and that's that. And there's a Sakhi that also references, so people might say, well, you're just saying that, but Sadhguru Sahib Ji in Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, once we're going past a bend, in that bend, Gur Sikh said, oh, there's a Singh that lives in this bend, let's go and visit them. And they wanted Sadhguru Sahib Ji to come to the house. Sadhguru Sahib Ji didn't go to the house, because in the times of Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, that Gur Sikh, or who was came across as a Gur Sikh, took one of a bibi that used to stay with Mata Gujari Ji and do seva, and he ran away with her, and they had what you could call a love marriage or whatever they did, and they ran away. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji didn't go, because they said in Sadi Sikhya, what our Sikhya is in terms of how to get married and stuff. He didn't follow that. So that is why you should refrain from them kind of relationships. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji, again, like I said, tells us that we should treat each other as brothers and sisters. And if we indulge in relationships, no matter what level have we got, you might say, well, we haven't done anything physical. Obviously the physical action is a Karaj, but before that it's all just involved around kaam. And Sadhguru Sahib Ji tells us what happens if we indulge in kaam is that if you partake in kaam and it just one thing leads to another, that you go to naraks and you've got to come again and again. And actually if you look in at the arse, it comes that actually having a sabandh with someone doesn't obviously straight away start off with physical. There's many steps, there's 8 steps to actually having sabandh, 8 steps or 8 things. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but some of them are just like, first just meeting the person, you get a ras, you get enjoyment just from hearing their voice, then from seeing them, and then from the smell, obviously if you get a bit closer to them, then slowly it develops to, well, you can just imagine what it develops to next. But so all of that, you need to contain that, because our mission on this earth is to become one with the Akal Purkh Vaheguru. And why do we get married? It's because obviously, one, if we don't have ngristis and people don't get married and have children, the Khalsa Panth is not going to bad. And at the same time, Sadhguru Sahib Ji showed us that path. So Sadhguru Sahib Ji, if you look to Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji themselves, they were gristi, they got married, the Guru Sahibs got married, they had children. Obviously not all of them, some of them were of younger ages, but they showed us that that's the path to live in the world. So we're still living in the world as worldly people, but then we're still Kamaying Sikhi. So that is the path. And Sadhguru Bhai Gurdas Ji talks about how Grist Jivan is Pardhan. Now it doesn't mean that if you don't get married that you're not following Sikhi. Obviously you can not get married, but then you've obviously got to be strict in that way in terms of the way you live. In the same way, if you get married, then you just are married with one person, you don't partake in other relationships. So there's a responsibility on both sides.